So the last you were in the kitchen, you saw our new countertops being installed, and it is tile time. I got my good buddy Jason. I've known Jason longer than just about anybody in Little Washington, and I have sweet talked him into doing this tile for me. So he's begrudgingly being in the video, and he's gonna start knocking out this tile. So he's starting with a hole and a half and a hole, but that very third tile is gonna have multiple cuts because there are two switches, plugs, will be switch plates that he's got to work around. He's got to notch around those. So Jason's out cutting tile, and I realized that I'm not sure I've showed this tile to you yet. So you can hear that tile saw going out there. It's a really interesting tile because it has this darkened edge, which I like a lot. And we're doing a really, really narrow grout line. So this tile is designed that you could use a spacer if you wanted a bigger line, but we're gonna go with that smaller line. And we've matched our grout and our Schluter to match the edge of the tile. Now, if you're not familiar with Schluter, it's this long metal sheet, and you cut the little pieces everywhere you're gonna have a tile that's not killing into something. So that piece will go right there, and then the tile will kill up to it. And terrible camera work, but let me see if I can show you what that's gonna look like. So then that tile will rest, and instead of looking at an unfinished piece of tile, you end up seeing this nice powder-coated metal edge. Jason is moving right along. This looks so good. I love the way the tile is tying together the cabinets and the countertops. He's got just a few more tiles up there at the top. He's wrapping up for the day, and it's looking really, really nice. It's a new day. Jason got started early, and he has already turned that corner. So the last time you were here, there were one or two left up here that needed to be done. And now he has turned that corner, and the next thing you know, he'll be right over here on the other side of the window. So I showed you the Schluter. I talked to you a little bit about what that would look like. So here is a piece in place, and that is a cut tile. So all the more reason why we needed that, because you would be looking at a weird slice of tile. So tile work is happening inside. In a second, I'm gonna run upstairs because Jason's guys are working on a door, and they want me to take a look at a doorknob. But first I wanted to show you a holdover from last week. That's the final coat on those handrails that we built last week. Let me turn it around and let you see. Those handrails really give the house a finished look, and hopefully these will last a long time. Hey y'all, let's talk old doorknobs. So I am on the second floor of the Fowle House, and this bathroom door made no sense. It swung into the cabinet when there was nothing across the way. So we have changed the swing so that it swings hinged on the right now, but the doorknob is backwards. So fingers crossed, I'm gonna try to take this apart and reconfigure it. So the part that closes when you press the door closed needs to be like this. But when you do that, the lock is on the wrong side. So cross your fingers. I'm gonna try to take this apart and swap it around. All right, doing this with two hands is hard. So I removed that set screw right there, and I took that screw out. So in theory, this doorknob should come off, but it doesn't want to right now. So let me see. Here we go. That doorknob is gonna come off. Slowly. I'll speed up this video. There's the set screw. And then this will slide out. Okay, so I took the set screw off. Here is both ends of the knob and the two back plates. I took this screw out of the lock, And now I've got 3 pieces. This piece right here is the problem. We need it to go the other direction when you push it. So I'm gonna carefully try to get this out, spin it around, put it back, and then put it back together. So far, taking it apart has been successful. Can I get it back together is the question. All right, I took that piece out, was very careful with that old spring, flipped it around, and now it works. I'm not gonna show you because it wants to pop off. When I took it apart, this little piece fell out. So I've got to figure out exactly how it goes back. It goes in this spot right here, and it moves up and down when you turn that knob. And what it does is pulls on this, which unlatches the door. So I've got to carefully get that piece back where it goes and then put it back together. All right, if I'm being honest, this little one piece is being very difficult. I wish I'd seen it before it popped out. I think I've got it. Now you just got to get all the little pieces in the right parts. The locking mechanism popped off while I was working up here, but I rolled my footage and saw where that works. So I'm still working to get all these little pieces just right. These things are really sensitive. Okay, I put it back together. Now, if I've done it correctly, when I slide this in and turn it, it moves. Honestly, it could probably use a little WD-40 in there, but hey, it's been turning the other way for about 100 years. So now, got to get it back in the door, get the knobs back on, and we're good to go. Okay, so Thomas is putting the final screws in so we can make sure it really works well. Here's a little fun fact about these glass knobs. They've been around forever. They actually really came into popularity during World War II because they used less metal. And of course, all the metal we could find, we were using to support our troops. So that's when glass knobs really came into fashion. Okay, all the screws are in. It closes with no problem. And you can see how it made so much more sense for it to swing this way. When the vanity's here, it's gonna swing beautifully. Okay guys, we have a little bit of an update on the Fowle House. Originally, we weren't contracted to do this, but now we are gonna repair all the plaster and do all of the interior painting. And then you know that here pretty soon, we're gonna get those floors refinished. So to do that, we have to get everything in the house out of the house. And before we can put it all in this garage, we've got to clean this garage out. So we have a dump trailer and we are going through everything and marking anything that we should keep, what we should chunk, what we should save. And then we're going to do the same thing with what's inside. You remember when we tore out all of those kitchen cabinets? Some of it is getting saved to be used for storage out here. Some of it like that is being trashed. These are old trims, old baseboards. Until we're completely done, we don't want to get rid of any of that. And here's a fun fact. If you've been around for a while, you might recognize these because these are old floor joists from the Hyatt house. If you remember, all of that was in the backyard. Here's one that we ripped down. That's what's left after we made those beams that we wrapped the LVLs in. And when we were cleaning up that backyard, I called the homeowners of the Fowle House and said, if there's anything you want, come get it. So there it is. We've come back around to that. So we are just cleaning all of this out so that we can do the same thing inside the house. So the garage has been cleaned out as much as we can. And now we've got to start getting all this other stuff out of here. So everything from sheetrock we didn't use anymore to a shower door that's still got to be installed, leftover insulation. We got it all. It's all got to go. So months and months ago when we demoed the kitchen, we pulled out all these old doors, those old cabinets. They've been in the sunroom, but now they've got to go. So we're going to move it all. This is the old hardwoods that came out of the breakfast room. It's all got to go to the garage. Meanwhile, Jason is turning that tile out. He is almost finished. in that corner. Then we've got this little wall to do, and our backsplash will be tiled. All right, we're back out in the garage, and all of the stuff that was in the kitchen, the sunroom, a little bit of the living room, and all the dining room is out here now. So here is the hardwood floors that were left from the kitchen. We've got old sinks. We've got old cabinets that they're gonna repurpose. What else have we got? We've got the range. We've got the dishwasher. So all of this is now out here. There's a little bit of furniture left inside. We're gonna leave that. But for the most part, at least half the house is empty. So we're gonna start covering up floors, and then we can start prepping walls. So we're here just in time to see Jason almost finish. He's got that little bit over there, and the rest of it is tiled. Okay, so we're calling it a day. We've been working here, there, and everywhere. The kitchen is coming together. We're getting the house cleaned up so that we can move on to a new project. Hey y'all, so we are on the second floor at the Fowle House. We're working in this room, and honestly, it's a mess. Let me show you. So the guys started trying to skim this ceiling, and our plan originally was just to hit it in spots. That was what was chosen to do, and it just didn't work. It just looks so bad that now they're skimming the whole ceiling. You can see Jesus is putting it on really thick, and Gio is using the knife to clean it off. So anyway, these old plaster walls are just not in good shape. We started doing some prep on these walls. You can see where we prepped some yesterday over here. So we're doing the whole house, and I think it's probably gonna be trial and error in the beginning to figure out exactly what's the best thing to do. We also are gonna have to do some trim work all over the house. You can see where looks like somebody used some latex over oil, which of course is a nightmare. Also, while we're here, we have a few broken sash cords. So that's a project for another day, but we are going to repair any spot that has a broken sash cord. So stay tuned for that. So we actually have one project completed. This tile got finished early this morning, and it has been grouted all the way around the room. Looks great. So it looks so good. The grout is still drying, so it's a little bit uneven. It looks darker in some places than others. But you can see it's got, it's a little bit gray, but it's gonna dry less gray than that. But you can see how it works with that grayed out edge. It looks really, really nice. Okay, so this ceiling, I don't know if you can really see it, but it's like night and day from how it looked when they started. They've also been working on these walls. They look so much better. I think I told you that this trim needs some TLC because it looks to us like somebody painted a latex over an oil along the way. So the early stages of prepping the trim throughout the house. Gosh, this looks so much better. So much better. Okay, so that is a wrap on a kind of weird week of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So we started prepping the walls. We got a lot of things cleaned out. We got the tile in the kitchen, backsplash looking so good. And next week, we're gonna just keep working on walls. We're gonna be doing walls for a little while. So come back next week, see what we're tackling next at the Fowle House. And by the way, go Wolfpack.